Care to tell me what happened, Blondie?
I understand what you're trying to do, Victor. But you had your chance to lead and you turned it down. I looked up to you and you let us all down. But when things don't turn out your way, you want to form a coup and install some kid. A family without principle is no family at all.
Within this business, filled with killers and corruption, it is a shame to still see an idealist. You will be missed, Blondie.
With every passing bullet, I watched his soul shed from his body. Soon enough, the bullets stopped flying and he stood beside me. He was so at peace. I don't know why, but something about it angered me. All he offered in my anger was an apology. And finally, he showed himself to the door. I followed. Going through that door and ending up here was surreal. Everything that happened is happening feels like a dream. But now it doesn't matter if I think I'm in a dream. This is real enough for me to understand and adjust.
Is there anyone or any persons who you believe is the cause of the calamities in your life?
I can't say that I do. Whoever created and sent the poison my dad was hooked on comes down to that creator wanting money to better their living situation. The death of my mother isn't the fault of anyone, not even the fault of the producers of the alcohol she drank. It's just a bunch of bad variables piling on top of each other until whatever happens, happens.
But what about the producer of all producers? Surely, with his omniscience, he could have protected you from suffering no person like yourself deserves to experience.
I can't say I've given God any thought. It's natural for people to think about a God, a being that gives everything a purpose. But even then, I don't see the point of blaming any deity. If my life is dictated by forces outside of my hands, I'm not even a pawn of my own life. There wasn't a choice when my dad died. When my mom died, maybe even my uncle, or when I did. The way I see things now, it's irrelevant how I think about what God should have done in my life. Because I didn't even have the power to do that for myself.
Does your presence here modify your perspective?
It's too early to tell. I don't even know my purpose here.
It's to choose, him or us. Checkmate. Now that I've played your game and listened to your story, I presume that your needs are met. I'll be taking my leave.
Wait, do you think you were created to become the demon you are now?
I cannot provide an adequate answer because I lack God's foresight. But I do know that I'm not fond of his ideals. It's why I showed myself as a god and led many humans astray after the war that separated the third of us from him. I will admit that I was tired of being a god when I gained attention in life but ignored in the hereafter. The ones who followed me were too concerned with their constant self-torment.
Then why are you here?
I'll have you know I'm not a complete monster. In fact, I commanded several followers to sacrifice their newborns in my name.
You what?
Yes, ecstatic God was not with the practice, but under civilization, who acts against the God of Israel? Who would be granted the kingdom of heaven, if not the children who have not reached their age of accountability?
Didn't you just tell your followers to follow the God of Israel if you wanted them to go to heaven?
Please, let's forget about my thoughts about God for a moment. Not even his followers wanted to follow him at times. That was simply not an option. But there is a quality of God that I've learned to admire, and that's interacting with his followers in ways more intimate than a slave serving a careless master, but in a way as his followers would call him Father. I'm taking Purgatory Academy as an opportunity to be seen as more than a demon, but a motive for you students to feel more than a product of circumstance and to ultimately take action and find complacency in the decision you choose after the termination of this project.
I think I understand. Do you think it's a good idea for anyone to trust you?
If anyone trusts me, they shall do it of their own will. I enjoyed this conversation. I hope that you will make ample use of your time here in Purgatory Academy.